Hello and welcome back. Today I have another ink review. It is Mechanics of the Stars by Ferris Wheel Press. It comes in this beautiful box. It has this lovely artwork. This is a telescope here. And this is so pretty. And this is one of their more recent inks. And when I saw this, I thought that's so pretty and I had to get this. So that is the box. And then the ink, let me get this open more carefully. All right. Gotta find a gap. There we go. All right. Try not to ruin the boxes because they're super pretty. All right, let's pull this out of here. This is a shimmer ink. And I don't know much else about it other than that. Ferris Wheel Press has a Facebook page where you can watch them, some behind the scenes videos. They've got examples of their inks and everything. So if you're curious, check them out. It's a good way to find out which inks are launching soon. So this is blue. And then there's the shimmers down there on the bottom. It looks like a bronzy kind of a shimmer. And I have a stir plate, I guess is what it's called. I'm going to see if that will work on these inks, on this size ink bottle. It's not a round bottle, but I'm curious to see if it'll work in one of these shaped bottles. So let's find out. Because if it'll work, then I won't need to mix the bottle in between. I can just stir it and it'll be a little bit faster. And if you're curious about what this is and how it works, I did a little review video previously. You can go back and watch that. Okay, let's take this off here. And they put these little rubber gaskets to prevent it from drying out and leaking, which is really nice. This little magnet goes in here. And I got to make sure it's centered. And let's turn it on and see what happens. Oh, there it goes. Let's see if that's strong enough. I can't quite see down in there. Can you see? Let's see what happens if we turn it up a little bit. Oh, I can see the shimmer kind of coming up from the bottom. So it's doing something. Yeah, I can see it now on the top. There's a little bit of motion there as it's stirring around. Let's see what happens if we move this a little bit. Okay, so I think it is working. One way to check is just to put this back on and look at the bottom of the bottle and see if the shimmers are still stuck down there. Let's see here. I got the gasket stuck in the cap, so maybe this is a really dumb idea, but we're about to find out. Yeah, it's not even going on because I messed up the gasket. Okay. Okay, it looks like some of the shimmers are still stuck down there. Now, this was just shipped to me, so that might be why. I'm going to gently shake this. With that magnet in there, it's helping kick up the shimmers that are stuck to the glass. So, there we go. That looks about right. All right, now let's try that one more time. We'll give it a good mix with this. And then we'll see if this is working for these taller bottles. I know you can get bigger stir rods, but because this bottle is so narrow, I don't know if they'll fit. I don't know if they can spin around. So let's just turn that off real quick. I'll set this aside. And we'll try this on the swatch card first. Look at me remembering, finally. Okay, so here's the swatch card. And we'll test this out. Whoops, I gotta stir it again now. That's the only downside. Maybe I should just leave it running. Oops. All right, so you can't see what I'm doing either. So let me get that. Let me move this over. I'm going to see if I can do this here. Because of where the camera is at, I have to be careful where I set this down. There we go. That's better. All right, now let's stick this in here. We'll see if any of the shimmers come through. That'll tell me if this is stirring it up enough or not. Look how pretty that color is. It's almost like a teal or a turquoise or something. Very, very pretty. I don't see any shimmers yet. We're going to put a little bit more on the side here to see if we can encourage any shading, because I don't know if this has any shading properties. All right. I'll set this down here. We'll carefully take this out and take a look here. Okay, I am seeing a little bit of shimmer. Yes, I think that might be working. So we're going to go ahead and we'll set that aside and do the test. And then if I don't see the shimmers come out as that dries, because usually the shimmers become more noticeable as the ink dries, then we can I'll redo this. But I think this is working. It looks really good. Okay. So this one. Whoops. They had a couple different inks come out, and there was this one, there was another darker blue that I wanted, but I have to be very careful with my budget and what, things I get and test out, so I wasn't able to get the other one this time, although I do hope to get it later. And then they had 2 calligraphy inks as well, and the calligraphy inks are beautiful, and that's something else I want to test out as well. I've learned the hard way that I can't talk and write at the same time. Okay, this is just the copy paper. All right, that looks good. Let's see if we can see anything. Yep, okay, that does definitely have shimmer. So that little stir rod is working in this bottle. So that is good to know. All right, so let's try the HP 32 paper next. This paper is a little bit smoother. It's a little bit higher quality. It's still just a copy paper, but it's nicer paper. And so the inks tend to look better. If they have any kind of fancy properties, they usually show up better on this paper than on regular standard copy paper. All right, let's swirl, do little swirls. This is such a pretty color. I really do like these, I guess, is this a teal? I'm not really sure. But whatever it is, it's leaning towards teal or turquoise, and I really like that color. This is HP 32. Oh yeah, and we should see if it has any shading. All right, that looks pretty good. And of course, if you don't have one of these little stirrers, I'm going to turn it off because I have a feeling that rattling might be getting picked up by the microphone, might be kind of annoying. But you don't need that. You can just put the lid on and stir it. There is another way, another stirring method, which I might show you later, that I've got that we could try out. All right, this is the Tomo River. And this paper shows off most of the ink properties of the inks that I've tried. And I really like it for that. It's a little more expensive, but if you can get some, maybe like in a little notebook or something, it just makes the inks, especially if you have special inks, it makes the inks really, really stand out nice. The colors and the shading and everything, it's so pretty. So I really like this paper. I just wish there was a way to get it cheaper in bulk somehow, but alas, I have not found it yet. This is Tomo River. And if you have any paper, a special paper that you use for fountain pen inks, that's different, let me know. I know there are other kinds of paper out there I do have a couple other kinds, but they're in like they're like letters and envelopes, those kinds of formats. Not really something that I can test out on here because they're not in sheets like this. And then I think I have a Midori notebook, but obviously without tearing the pages out, I can't really use that for swatches. So I haven't been, but if I can get it loose leaf at some point, I might include that if people are interested and want to see that type of paper with swatches on it. Okay, let's clean this off real quick, and then we'll take a look at the swatches we made and compare them and see how they look on the papers. I'll get this out of the way. All right. This looks like it needs a few more seconds to dry on the Tomoe River paper, but this is looking quite pretty. This would be beautiful to paint with. Okay, so this is the regular copy paper. There's a tiny bit of feathering, but other than that, it looks good. The color is pretty. It's a very vibrant color. The shimmers, of course, stand out just fine. I'm going to see if I can get the camera to pick those up, but it has a beautiful, I don't know if that's like brass or coppery, kind of a coppery, I would say, shimmer to it. Very pretty. And then here's the HP 32. There's not a whole lot of difference other than there is a little bit of shading that you can see on the HP 32. And of course, there's no feathering. The color looks great, just like on the copy paper. And there's beautiful shimmers in there. And compared side to side, the color on the HP 32 looks a little bit richer in these splotches here. But in the writing, it's very, very close. So you could easily use this ink with any paper that you had on hand. It would probably be fine. And this is the Tomoe River paper. And the shading on this is really good. It really shows up nicely. The shimmers, of course, show up. And you can see how pretty this is over here on these splotches. How beautifully those show up. And it's a nice darker color around the edging because of the shading. It's so pretty. And then this is the swatch that we made. Look how beautiful that is. This is such a pretty ink. I'm really glad I got this one. It was difficult to choose between the two blues that they had, but this one, just something about it grabbed me, and so I went ahead and picked out this one this time, and I'm really glad I did. And I'm also glad I noticed that I forgot to write the name on this swatch, because I would have been pretty upset with myself later on. I'm going to shake it up this time because I don't want to get out the little stirrer, but all right. I will say that using that stirrer prevents the bubbles from forming at the top, which is nice. Okay. Okay, there we go. So now we got to let that dry a little bit, but now we got the name on there. That would have been awful. Would have looked at that later and been like, I recognize that and I don't know what it's called. Okay. And there's, of course, the beautiful bottle. Now the ink in this bottle looks dark compared to the way it looks on their website. And that is because they showed a behind the scenes of how they do this. They take a bottle and put a little bit of diluted ink in it. That way it looks more like the ink in the photos, because in photography it's really, really hard to capture things like glass and water and stuff like that. It doesn't always look the way it's supposed to look. And so this way, when you look at the photograph, it represents the ink the way it writes. And then, of course, they've got swatches and stuff so you can really tell what's going on. I recommend checking the swatches. And also, if the ink looks like it's the wrong color in the bottle, always do swatches, because you never know what it's going to look like. That bottle looked like it was going to be a very dark blue, but obviously that's not the case. So this is definitely a lighter than what it looked like in the bottle, and a very beautiful teal or turquoisey type blue. Very, very pretty. I really like this one. I'm very happy I got it, and I will leave a link to it down below in case you want to get it. And they do have a very generous like points reward system. So if you do order from them, and if you've never ordered from them before, or if you have and you never signed up, I would sign up for their points reward, because you get things like free ink and stuff like that. So a very nice program. So thank you so much for watching. If there's anything you'd like to see, any other different inks or different reviews, let me know. And if I have them, we can do a review. And thank you so much for watching. You have a great day, and I'll see you again soon.